Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan with Iowa Classic Cars, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, and Monday they're calling for a winter storm, the first of the season. So in today's video, we are going to highlight cleaning out the two Chargers. The first one here is a 69. The second one here is a 68. I've already started on this car. Actually, pretty decent car. It needs all the typical Mopar stuff. You know, the floors, though, actually aren't terrible. A little bit of rust over there, a little bit in the front pan, and a little bit right here. But fairly solid car for what it is. But the main purpose of the video today, and what we'll be focusing on and doing, is working on the pink 59 hardtop Impala. Original paint. Love this car. The plan today is I'm going to get it on the two-post lift here. We're going to start disassembling it, taking the bumpers off, getting the body mounts loose, and my plan this weekend, and I'm going to film all this obviously, is to get the body and the frame separated and start working on the frame. I know it's only January. I've talked to Marshall, my buddy Marshall out in Wisconsin, and with his shop now built, he is going to put the floor pans in for me either this summer or this winter. So I'm going to restore the frame, you know, do the fuel lines, brake lines, all that good stuff in their correct spots. Probably paint it with POR 15. I did that on my black car and it turned out really good. Going to put a posi in it. I've got a posi unit. It's a 336. This one right now is an open diff, so my friend Norm will go through that for me, make sure it's all square and solid. And yeah, get the frame nice, get the floor pan nice. We'll put a new interior in the car. I'm kind of debating right now. It has a 283 that I put in it last summer in it. And I'm kind of debating, first of all, if I want to run a bench seat or those bucket seats out of a 59 Pontiac, very, very rare bucket seats. Very expensive bucket seats. So that's my first question is, do I want to do that or the bench seat, which is standard and factory? And then my next question I'm debating is, do I put or leave a 283 700 R4 in it, or do I do a restored 348 tri-power 700 R4? I've got all the stuff to do the 348. I've got the tri-power. I've got the air cleaner. This car was a 283 car originally, but who's to say that it can't be a 348 car now? So that was a lot of talking, but first of all, let me know down below. Would you guys put a bench seat in this car or do the bucket seats with the Impala Tritone? It looks really good. There's a couple of cars out there that have done 61 or 62 to 64 buckets that look like that. And I think this car would be probably the only car around that I know of with a set of 59 buckets in it, because GM did buckets in all the divisions except for Chevrolet. 62 was the first year of that. It's a lot of rambling, but yeah, let me know down below, bench or buckets, and then 283 704 or 348 tri-power 700 R4. With that being said, I'm going to get these two cars cleaned out. I'll come back when I'm done, and then we'll start working on this car. All right, so I've got all the boxes off of the car, got the trunk cleaned out, and I'm going to explain the story on how I actually got this car before we get started. And the reason why is because 100 years from now, when I'm probably in a care center and can't remember anything, I'm going to be watching this video and watching back what I started with and what it turned out to be. And I hope you guys enjoy following along this whole process too. So to begin, I bought this car back in 2017 in Junction City, Kansas. It was at Easy Jack & Sons. It's a salvage yard. The owner and his brother really liked 59s. And this car was in their personal stash. There was this car, a black 59 hardtop that was the brothers, and then a 59 El Camino and a 59 sedan delivery. Never for sale. If I can, I will find the picture and put where I found this car and how it was sitting. But it was under some pine trees, and it was just never for sale. It came in 1976 wrecked. Pretty much as you see it here is how it was. I mean, I have pictures from the day it came in, and nothing really changed. So with that being said, I worked with Jamin a little bit, talking to him, trying to convince him to sell it to me, and he eventually did, and I now own this beautiful car. So I'm just kind of showing the before and after here. The trunk gutter is the worst spot on the car for sure. The tail pan is nice. Has just a little bit of rust, but no holes. The trunk floor will get replaced in its entirety. Marshall's gonna do that for me. The trunk lid is fairly decent. It does have a couple holes, but these trunk lids are so hard to find. Nice original paint. The seats were really nice when I got the car. The door panel's really nice when I got the car. And I put it in our family's hog building for a winter. And the raccoons got in because I forgot to cover up the holes in the floor. And they have destroyed it. So my dad's here with me today. And I'm going to pull the seats out of this thing, get it cleaned out. But this video is just kind of a reference of what we got working here. The motor is a 283. We installed this in the car this past summer. Not numbers matching, obviously. The doors have probably the best paint of the whole car. The quarters do too, but they just have a little bit of corrosion on the bottom. As you can see here, the seats. The raccoon just had a field day with this thing. That's why you're here now, to keep them out of it. Padded dash car. The dash pad is really gross, so that'll be going away. Gonna paint the dash nice. All the glass will come out. The door panels will get redone. Keep all the hardware and all of this trim here. Hard stuff to get. New glass. It's also a two-tone car. Impala paint dividers. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna start cleaning this bad boy out here. So here's the before shot. And let's get to the after shot. All right, so the seats are out. And the floors are about as I expected they were going to be. I had to cut the seat mounts because the bolts were all stripped, which kind of sucked. But back toe pans are okay. The back seat pan will need replaced. The passenger side is definitely the worst side. That whole section needs fixed. And the back seat on that side as well is bad. Here are the seats, and here is the evidence of what raccoons can do. Very destructive animals. These were nice seats at one time, but no more. All right, like I said though, with the trunk, the whole trunk will get replaced. So now what I'm going to work on is taking this rear bumper off, which is kind of cool. I'm guessing someone in the Army owned it because it's got the bicentennial sticker, USA 76, and it's the 1st Infantry, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to work on taking this bumper off, and then, all right, so your tech tip of the day is that 59s have 10 body mounts if you don't include the core support. There's one here on each side, one right about here on each side, one above the wheels, but right here on each side, one right about here on each side, and the easiest one to see is right there on the cowl itself. There are 2 bolts that hold the core support in place if you want to count that, but there are 10. So I'm going to work on getting that rear bumper off. I'm going to zip the body mount bolts out of the back here, and probably won't lift the body today, but today or tomorrow we are going to get it completed, and then probably later this week we'll lift the body. All right guys, so making some good progress here. I got the bumper off. Got the valances off, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Those are 5/16 sheet metal screws. Got 4 of the body mounts out so far. The back 2 here are spinning, which is great. I haven't attempted to take these 2 out yet. And then obviously the fronts will come out because those are exposed. So we're getting there. Some things I've found. This side has a little bit of corrosion in the taillight pocket, but not too bad. Tiny bit of rust starting here, but way above average. This side's pretty good shape. But the one thing I will say, obviously, when building any car, or in this case a 59 Chevy, there's 8 bajillion bolts and nuts and screws and all that good stuff. So I'm going to run inside and get some baggies because these are for the center valance. And then all the sheet metal screws. You have your bolts right here for your body mounts, seat bolts. And put them in a baggie, put a little piece of paper, write what they are, and then in 8 months' time, or 2 years, or 10 years, whatever it may be, when you need to put this thing back together, you're like, WTF, how do I put this onto this? And if you have bolts that don't break, just put them back where they go. Then you can get new fresh bolts when the time comes. So, I'm going inside, I'm beat, but tomorrow we're gonna keep going on this thing. Probably pull the front clip, take the 2 front body mounts off, work on these 2 in here that I have not messed with yet, and I'll probably just cut these with a torch. Well, probably not a torch, probably a Sawzall, just to keep them from burning the place down. And then we'll lift the body off. So I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, so the cat's gonna help me today, but the next thing here I wanna do is get the door panels off. And what sets these cars apart on the Impala versus a Bel Air and Biscayne is the extra long armrests and the deflectors, the nice chrome trim, the handles are Impala only, and this piece of trim right here. So this is a very expensive piece. It's $59 Impala 2-door only. So with that being said, let's get right into pulling the door panels. So pretty simple. The only thing you guys will need is a snap ring remover tool for the window crank and the vent window. A Phillips screwdriver. There's 2 screws that hold the armrest to the door itself, and then you have 1 screw that will hold the handle to the mechanism. So first things first, let's untwist. Let's untwist that lock cover. It is plastic and it's 6 years old, so it's kind of delicate, but if it breaks, you can get new ones. Not a huge deal. So we're gonna do that. There's 1 screw right, where is it? Right there, right there. And there's a screw right there. It's already halfway started. And I will come back when the door panel's off to show you guys what's behind this. All right, guys, so unfortunately, things don't go the way you want it to, and the door panel gets destroyed, but that's okay. Because GM, in their infinite wisdom, here is how the window crank was on. And as you guys can see, I have it so that the pins are facing the crank itself. So when you go to put your tool and pop these things out, you have to go like this and then push. And this one wasn't so bad. But when this one is facing straight down and that clip is facing straight down, I could have taken the handle off, sure, but actually seeing where the clip is exactly, kind of a chore. So the door panel was already really not there at all. So I just kind of cut around this, and then I could see where it was a lot better with the fabric out of the way. Nonetheless, though, it's taken off of there. Next thing up is the door glass and the vent window. The vent window, there's 3 screws and then 2 bolts. There's also a 7/16 bolt as well right there, and a bolt or a nut right here. So take all this stuff off. Your mechanism is inside there. The best thing that I found to take that off is just a screwdriver. Just put it right there and just lightly tap it with a hammer, and it just drops right out of there. You'll also have 1 nut right here that holds your adjustment on. So take that off, and the entire thing, you have to kind of finesse it out of here, but it will come right out. The next one is the window glass. There is a screw right there and a screw right there. That'll take it off of the track, and as soon as you do that, just kind of lift it out. So I'm going to do that now, and we shall return. Okay, so I lied to everyone, so I'm going to tell you guys the right way to do this. So the glass is out. This is the front of the glass. So first things first, the vent window has to be totally loosened up. There is a hidden screw right in here for this trim, and it goes through the vent window. So there's 1 screw there, 1 screw there, 1 screw there. You have to take both of those out, or the vent window will never come loose. So once it's loose, you can move the whole thing out of the way. And unfortunately for me, this vent window is broken. It's no good. You can't fix it. I'm sure you could, I guess, but very, very hard. So This is the front side of the glass. Like I said, it runs in this channel right here. But there is a stop on the back side of the back piece of the glass. So as you can see, there's 2 screws right there. And then the front stop goes right there, and it's on the inside of the door. So you can't access this one. This one has to come off. This one does not, but the vent window has to come out of the way. And this is probably the end of the first video in a long series of videos, because I want to keep you guys entertained and working here, making a little progress each time I go. But the last thing I'll leave you guys with is obviously this piece of trim. This is two-door hardtop and 4-door hardtop and convertible only. Sedans are different. But once these 2 screws are out, this trim, you have to kind of wiggle it a little bit, but it will come free. And then there is 1, 2, 3 screws. And I call this arm burner trim because when it's a summer day and you're leaning like this, it'll scorch your arm. But 3 screws hold that on. You cannot get the trim off without destroying the glass with the glass in it. So I'm going to take this off now, and then I will see you guys next week or 2 weeks from now. My game plan for this car now, because I took the drip rail off and the roof is rusty, we're just going to keep going here. We're going to take all the glass out, all the side glass, the trim, the windshield. Next week we'll probably lift the body off the frame. I just want to kind of get it disassembled and keep on rocking and rolling. So I'm not really sure yet if we're going to do a roof replacement or just patch it or what the plan is, but I'm going to keep working here. So if you guys enjoyed episode 1 in a long series of episodes, this will probably be a 2-year project, to be honest with you. Make sure to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to stay tuned with the progress and all the other cool stuff that I find, buy, and sell, and all the cool junkyards I find. And just comment. What would you guys do with this car? Frame off, fully restored, you know, LS motor, all that good stuff? Or would you do the same way that I'm doing, you know, leave the body as original as you can and just make everything fresh and new inside? So let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you next week with the next part of the video. But until then, have a great day, and thanks for watching.